So if I went back to the beginning of time with knowledge of how every subatomic particle was going to move and what the implications were, could I predict exactly what you were going to do today, 14 billion?
When I tell you this nigga can like rival Eminem right now, nigga.
Folks was about to say, Folks is really
Nigga, he was going crazy.
Folks really did hit rap god levels of speed.
Like what?
Do not have us at full volume ever. We are a very loud group and we will bust your eardrums without any hesitation. Not on purpose, just how we are. So please, turn this video down. And even if my voice sounds normal, turn this video down. Thank you.
Type shit, I get
There
that.
you go.
That's video low.
I was thinking of doing something abstract, you know, because I'm an artist.
Oh, I thought it was just
This
me.
universe is going to have no numbers.
Appreciate the hearts,
Just
y'all.
said I probably know more American history than 7 out of 10 Americans. No sound.
That's not about right.
I think every American thinks they know 7 out of 10.
All right,
than most
apparently
Americans.
planets make numbers,
But,
so no planets.
You hear now,
No stars
TSR?
either. I've pretty much gotten rid of everything. It's a completely empty universe. Oh, come on. All right, this time it's nothing. Not even the universe. You can't say there's one of anything because things aren't even a thing.
He
Get
said
it?
relax.
Oh, for the love of...
Heavy
Hello,
statements, bro.
I'm
Never
Tyler.
watched
This
Y'all
is
watch
the
that, man?
imaginary axis, and today I learned that
I-
numbers are
Oh, that's
really
the
hard to
ultimate
get rid
universe
of.
behind him, I think. Right?
Well, kind of.
Maybe
They're the
it's
product
not.
of
No,
logic.
no.
They said no sound. Is that facts or cat?
It's
Very
really
hard to get
silent
rid
to
of.
me. I can hardly.
I know it's very quiet, I can barely hear
no,
it.
it's definitely right here.
Either.
But they saying no sound.
There are
Like
two
that
sides of the
cat?
same coin.
Y'all
If
hear
one
this, right?
exists, so does the other. By
Y'all hear
simply
this?
saying this is
not
reality,
saying y'all
you're
hear it.
classifying everything that's not
They
in
saying you hear us.
YouTube saying they hear us or no?
and vice versa.
Well, y'all keep saying yeah. Who got a yeah?
Who has a gat? Why is there a gat in the
Because
chat?
making a reality without
Wait,
reality
wait,
is
You twerked without us knowing? Like, what did you do?
It's just
by
bad.
necessity.
Oh, got up and started
He's
They
a
twerking.
yeah.
kind of have to be there.
Had that flash.
And they aren't alone. Destiny exists by necessity. If anything exists, that thing is going to do
They
things.
hear it.
Okay.
Even if it does nothing. That is.
Oh, we were
its
muted
destiny.
earlier?
Death
Oh, yeah, we
exists
did mute
by
earlier.
necessity.
Okay,
If
I
there's
remember
any
that.
life, no matter
They
how
went
bright,
mute on purpose.
you also
Okay, yeah.
need a word to
Yeah,
define
you're
the
right. We
opposite
tend
of
to,
life,
yeah.
the things that don't have it. And on that subject, when something's created, destruction comes into play. If we're going to start putting sentient things into the
Milky Way
universe that
galaxy,
live,
oh my
breathe,
God.
reproduce,
Milky Way
etc.,
candy
desire is also absolutely necessary.
I stand by it.
They'll need to desire to do things if they're going to survive,
Busy got a
or
got-
at the very least, they'll need to have an aversion to other things.
I'm gonna
that
stop being a
humans provide.
degenerate now, so it
Despair.
makes funny better.
And should these
I
creatures
can
ever get wise enough to reason and think and
turn
develop
somebody out with
lucidity,
a button
we're
for-
going to need
You
delirium.
can't?
There are certain truths in our
I
universe
can't.
that you just can't get rid of, no matter how badly you want to.
If
If you were to
ready
give every
turn this
living
thing out
entity in
for shame,
existence
yeah.
immortality, for example, death would still be a thing, people just wouldn't be dying.
Damn.
In the DC
okay.
See how many
multiverse, these
neck?
necessary
Gone.
truths have
Fucked
names and
up.
faces. Destiny, death,
Mhm.
dream,
So they also have a lady death?
destruction,
Interesting.
desire,
Yeah, I guess so.
despair, and delirium. They are called the Endless. Existing on the
Okay.
edge of creation, infinite layers above the conventional reality you're used to, this small dysfunctional
I saw
entity
yeah.
is made up
In
of
the
some
video?
of the most
Wait, from
powerful
us.
and most important
It might have been
entities
in the
in
video.
all of
It might have been
everything.
us.
You might think it's
Marvel's
impressive that
Death's
the
better.
true forms of the new gods can dwarf the multiverse in size, or Dr. Manhattan can keep timelines from collapsing by barely paying attention, or fifth-dimensional imps seem omnipotent to anybody in our lower reality. But to the Endless, these beings are all tiny, dimensionless specks. I could probably go on about their powers and abilities like I usually do when discussing characters on this show, but their names really say it all, don't they?
All beat.
This is not the god of dreams, this is dream. He's where most gods come from. I think what's more interesting is exactly how
Oh.
Endless
God
speak
damn.
this
That's
up.
actually
Like,
crazy.
consider if you were omnipotent and wanted to kill one of them. I
Okay.
mean, sure, you might be able to kill one aspect of them, one point of view of an endless concept. That alone would cause realities to fall, spin, and shatter across time and existence, but
Of course.
said point of view would just be replaced with a new one.
Mm.
How can you kill the personification of an action?
Mm.
Or an idea that exists by necessity?
Mm.
You could say, I'm omnipotent, I do whatever I want. So there, destiny doesn't exist anymore, even though destiny is still totally a thing. But does that really work? Some
Thank
people
God it
think
worked.
so, but others don't. The truth is, philosophers don't completely understand how omnipotence works, even
Kid
theoretically.
Baker came into the.
They argue about it like
Came into the
physicists argue
YouTube.
about quantum
He's funny
mechanics.
as hell. He better hit
Omnipotence might
subscribe,
need the
that's
power
all
to
I
do
know.
anything, but things that don't make sense might not classify as things.
Okay.
To quote C.S.
He should
Lewis,
twitch
if you
better.
choose to say God can give a creature
Fact.
free will and
You know?
at the same time withhold free will
I
from
mean,
it,
I don't-
you have not succeeded in saying
Stay with
anything
me.
about God. Meaningless combinations of words do not suddenly acquire meaning simply because we prefix to them the two words God can. Nonsense remains nonsense even when we talk about God.
Okay.
So the endless are so endless
Very
that
much.
even God might not be able to get rid of them.
Yeah, Gwen
But it
Stacy
gets
on the
crazy.
guys, crazy.
The endless are so endless that they exist everywhere. Why? Because it's necessary. Lucifer Morningstar once left to design his own creation separate from DC, and the endless cropped up over there too. They're in every comic you've ever read,
Hey.
every movie you've ever watched,
Mhm.
every video game you've ever played,
Hey.
every
Mhm.
battle you've ever seen.
Mm.
Each monologue and conquest and moral and story is
Hey.
ultimately a
Hey.
byproduct, intentional or not, of
Wow.
these 7 concepts that exist by necessity. Go ahead, try to think of a hero who doesn't have a destiny. Try to think of a villain who has no desire. You've encountered these 7 all your life, even if they've worn different faces or
Respectful.
I've seen a
puppeteered
gap,
different
ain't gonna lie.
characters. DC
I
just
saw
decided
one.
to
How's that?
personify.
Lady Death.
Maybe it's time I finally introduced him.
I guess it's more of a hero.
Destiny.
Yeah.
holds the number
Respect.
7. He reads from a book chained to his arm, heavy and bound in leather, made from the hide of a beast that has never existed. It contains everything
What?
that's happening, everything that has happened, everything that will happen,
Don't even
every
test me.
action,
Wow.
secret, plan, and meaning. It is the universe, and he moves it forward, unable to escape. His realm is the loom on which the fabric of existence is weaved,
Mm.
and everything is a part of him.
Mm.
Death, oldest sister of the 7. She's not blessed or merciful, she's just herself. Even as we speak, she's there for the young and the old, the innocent and the guilty, those who die together and those who die alone, burying
That's
them to the world beyond
A
worlds.
crazy death.
Animals, people, galaxies, dimensions, ideas, and gods.
Mhm.
When the first living thing existed, she was there, waiting. When the
That's
last living thing
crazy.
dies, her job will be finished.
That's
She'll put
crazy.
the chairs on the tables, turn out the lights, and lock the universe behind her when she leaves.
Damn!
Bars.
This one goes by many names: Morpheus, Sandman. One might be quick to underestimate the importance of Dream, but even as you try to imagine him now, he's with you. The two sides of every endless are not as opposite as you might think. One defines the other.
So
Just as
phenomenal.
life is nothing without death, reality is nothing without dream.
Mm.
It's said that every
Bars.
god and
Bars.
immortal was first born to dream. They walk among the waking world for a time.
What's up,
and when
Bagel?
they get old, they return to dream.
Nah,
to
Sonic.
die.
Six
Destruction.
ain't speed, you right.
The
Sonic,
prodigal
Adam
and
is Sonic.
perhaps the youngest brother. Not long after Death and Dream entered the world, destruction became necessary as well. This endless is no doubt the hardest to find, as he abandoned his duties many eons ago to let his realm continue in chaos. Desire. You'll have to forgive my visuals. None of these pictures will ever do Desire justice, since to see her, or him, is to love him, or her, passionately, painfully, and to the exclusion of all else. To the point it risks driving most people mad. Never a possession, always the possessor. Desire is everything you've ever
Bars.
wanted. Whoever you are, whatever you are, everything. Despair formed when it became clear that some desires could
That
not be
nigga
met.
bogus.
She's
Bogus as
Desire's
hell.
twin.
You know they gotta be one ugly brother.
It's said that scattered
Imagine
throughout her
being an
domain
ugly
are a
nigga.
multitude of tiny windows.
And like, would you like look at the group,
Each window looks into a
And
different
you just
scene.
realize-
but you know
Now
that you the
world
ugly
of
nigga.
You know you the ugly
Yeah.
nigga, that's crazy.
Sometimes you'll look into a mirror
That's
and feel the
sad.
eyes of despair upon you. Feel her hook, catch, and snag your heart.
That nigga
Then
said
we
you
have
know you the
Delirium.
ugly nigga, that's
Youngest
crazy.
sister and a curious one. Many, many eons ago, she was Delight, but something happened to
Hey,
reshape
Adrian
her.
Allen. Appreciate it.
Delight is no more. If you think you've experienced it, it's only been a mild form of delirium. But the chaos of delirium makes possible the order of lucidity.
He's in delirium.
She's the reason that we have reason and unreason.
Mm.
Said to know things that even destiny doesn't know. Her
Okay.
realm is close and can be visited, but mortal minds can't comprehend it. Who knows what Delirium sees through her mismatched eyes?
Ooh.
Having such
that's hard.
influence over creation,
Love that.
it can be said that these 7 are responsible for every story you've ever heard. So the stories
Even
about
outside
them are
DC?
stories
Yes.
about how
Even
stories
outside
are
of
born.
DC, they say.
The endless are at best ideas cloaked in the semblance of
I
flesh,
hear that.
patterns, repeating motifs. The endless are wave functions. Wait, what's a wave function again? Probably doesn't matter. The stories that you read and watch appear
That was
to be
great.
adventures about
He's-
characters making choices that cause certain outcomes, but it's really the endless making choices that cause characters to make choices that cause certain outcomes.
Really?
Bruce Wayne would not have become Batman if
You
death
niggas all work
didn't take his
together type
parents.
shit. Even if
Where
they
would
don't
Lex
have to work
Luthor be
together.
if he didn't desire fame and power?
Mm.
Superman saved the world, the universe, the multiverse, and stood as a symbol of hope. Because despair convinced Krypton Star to create life on an unstable planet and manipulate the events so one life form would escape.
That's
We're so used to
hard.
thinking of these things as if we control them, just because they're abstract concepts. But what if it's the other way around? What if they're the ones making the decisions? If you ask
They
most
are.
people, they'd say nonsense. Ideas can't think, feel, or make choices. They don't have any agency. But they are agency. Maybe they aren't self-aware like you and I are, but does being self-aware really prove you're in charge of anything? If you had your entire memory wiped of this day and started back over from the beginning with every single condition exactly the same as it was last time, would you still do everything you did today in the exact same order and manner you did this time? And if the answer is yes, then doesn't that just mean the entire universe was always going to play out the way it's played out up until this point, including every decision you've ever made, because ultimately everything is just caused by different subatomic particles bonding and unbonding, ramming into each other and dispersing? I mean, if you're given a physics exam and you're told to determine how far a ball would bounce given certain conditions, assuming you're given absolutely every important factor, you could determine exactly where that ball is going to land with 100% accuracy every single time. So if I went back to the beginning of time with knowledge of how every subatomic particle was going to move and what the implications were, could I predict exactly what you were going to do today, 14 billion?
When I tell you this nigga can like rival Eminem right now, nigga,
Folks, I was about to say, Folks is really
nigga, he was going crazy.
Folks really did hit rap god levels of speed.
Like what?
That's why he's so prominent, or he was so prominent.
Those started going into crazy levels of speed.
Billion years in
Buddy
advance,
might be
almost
a
as if you
Sheldon
weren't making
from,
any decisions at all, but instead your actions are the result
Big
of your
Bang
life
Theory
being
type
acted
shit.
upon by subatomic particles behaving in very specific ways? And if your actions are just the byproduct of subatomic particles ramming into each other, what causes them to ram into each other the exact way they do? Well, according to quantum mechanics, their actions are pretty random and nearly uncaused, but to make a long story short, they can ultimately be explained by a set of mathematics unique to each particle, which scientists refer to as wave functions. Necessary principles are the ones making the decisions, not you. They're inside your head right now, determining exactly how you'll react to this information.
I'm telling you.
And the next
He's
time you
going crazy.
experience destiny, death, dream, destruction, desire, despair, delirium, you'll react again
What's up
somehow.
with despair?
But
Despair is
and the next time
despair.
you despair, delirium,
Like everybody,
death,
like
dream, destruction, desire, despair.
I just
Your
feel like
wife's
he
so
just down
ugly.
bad. Like
He's despair, yeah. He would be down bad.
they really.
Nah, he worse than despair.
Despair and delirium. You'll react again somehow, but I can
Yeah,
guarantee
this was 13 minutes.
that the
Yeah,
concepts
it feel like,
themselves will never once react to you.
It was quick for the 13.
And that's how the
I can't lie.
relationship goes between mortals and gods, whether you believe them a physical thing or a conceptual law. The theist, the materialist. The question is, what do we do if our choices are just the result of some larger misadventure
reminds me.
embarked upon by an endless? If our fate is bound between the pages of a single book, metaphorical or not, then that means I was always
That's
going to
what I
make
like.
this video no matter what.
There you go.
And whatever you take away from it, you were going to take away no matter what.
There you go.
Be sure to think about it.
Philosophy.
Because in a way, the knowledge that you would make this decision 1,000 different times, if the universe played this scenario 1,000 different times, means this decision really says a lot about you. And so does every decision you've ever made, even if they don't technically count as decisions. Whether our paths are predestined or not, you are unique, a pattern that might never happen again. So make sure you're a good one.
I miss this guy.
Hey everybody, thanks again for
Oh.
watching another one of my videos. I know this one was a little different from
I wonder what happened.
Why is this vid so deep?
I didn't think it was gonna be that crazy for
It's
real.
about the 7 dark guys. Like it's finna get deep.
It talks about every
What if I desire despair? Then you a goof ass nigga.
You
No, I'm
desire
joking.
despair.
But the more you battle, the better off you can start your next run. It is absurdly addictive. Oh, you talking about some Pokemon, huh?
It was
Might
this
have to
game.
Scroll up.
Yeah, you talking about this game called
Basically, a free Pokemon